Hey guys, I want to finally do my walkthrough thing with Sarkareth Mythic. Just talk about the fight and how to approach it if you're new to the fight. Um, I'm gonna try and kind of skip super basic stuff and just kind of dive into the real meat. So if you're not familiar with Arcane, this might not be the video for you. But if you are familiar with Arcane, this will be a great tool. Yep. So we go into the fight. Hopefully, you get a clear casting before the pull. And then you're gonna evo at like 8 seconds. 7.67 seconds to 8 seconds. It depends on how much your guild likes to ninja pull. And then as soon as you start, you're going to Arcane Blast into Arcane Missile, and you're going to clip that missile with a Radiant Spark. So Blast, or sorry, I should say Arcane Blast Orb, obviously, as your regular opener, and then Blast Missile. So Blast Orb. Here I just went straight into Missile because somebody ninja pulled really early, and I didn't want to delay my burst. But normally you would do Blast Missile after the Orb. The reason you do this is just because that you want it to delay your surge so that you can place your surge rune after these two puddles spawn, right? So get into a burst, and obviously you're gonna get into position. Use your do your regular burst. And just keep going. Make sure you're clipping missiles. And as this howl comes off, you're gonna shimmer back in to your rune. And then that should time out pretty well with like one more missile into like a blast into a palm. Um, The way it works is Touch of the Magi has a specific number of cooldowns with Double Lust, obviously, or global cooldowns. So, your timings might be a little different. I think optimally, like I channeled the full missile here, you shouldn't have done that. You should do missile clip it still with blast, and you actually can fit an extra arcane blast. I'm not gonna get into it too much, but there's a set amount of GCDs that you can fit into Touch of the Magi window, and I believe I forgot the number off the top of my head. I want to say it's like 15 or 16. I think it's 16, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, nothing crazy here. Replace your rune, do your damage. This is a very sketchy part to the fight for Arcane, because there's a lot of swirlies and a lot of things going on. Depending on your guild strategy, you might have to adjust where you're positioning. For me, standing here was roughly the best place, but yeah, kind of just nuking. If ever this happens where people with the line and the breath are trapping you in, good tip is always walk behind the line people because the line doesn't pierce, right? So here the line won't hit me, so I'm fine. Once you finish your rune, as soon as your rune is finished, you want to slam your mirror images. And normally here, people the rest of the raid is going to be moving forward. As long as the first one doesn't spawn on you, then you should try and stay behind, because that's going to give you the chance to actually just do whatever you need to do. So in this case, it would be like shifting power, and then you can shimmer with your shifting power channeling, right? I moved here because the first one spawned on me, but yeah. As soon as that's done, you want a Radiant Spark Nether Tempest, right, for your mini burn. And then you're going to do your Barrage Touch. I like to Radiant Spark Nether Tempest, and I move into the fire, and then I Barrage Touch and move out. And that typically times out where this lag spike that's going to happen with the FPS happens while I'm moving, and it's also moving during the instant GCD globals. So it sounds like a meme, but I'm timing my lag spike, You can see it right there. And then yeah, you just kind of, do your touch. Nothing crazy. And then right after here, so we have a Rune of Power. And what you'll see me do here is I'm going to send it after this next set of runs. So you'll see me here doing the run, the stay back thing. You see me barrage for mana a little bit as well. And then I get into position. So I drop this rune. So in an ideal world, in an optimal world, you actually don't use this rune here. Instead, you'll use it with your Radiant Spark and Touch of the Magi at the end of this phase. Obviously, this is not normal gameplay. It's more Sark specific. But yeah, you can use the rune here though. I mean, I had fine results with it. I think a lot of people have fine results with it. But it's technically not optimal. The main reason why I did it like this is because I was worried about my mana later on in the phase, and I don't want to be potentially sacrificing my rune depending on my mana status. So I instead to just not risk it and just play it safe. Yeah, just using this back area here. I'm kind of playing my own game compared to everyone else. See what I mean? Then I have another mirror image thanks to Symbols of Hope. After this mirror image is complete, we're going to be doing our little Radiant Spark plus Touch combo. Like I said, this is not normal, Sark specific, because we don't want to be sending our cooldowns. I like to block on this set, So I like to use my greater invis as you saw in the previous set, the one with the breath, the all full breath clear, and I like to block this set. Technically you can do it the other way around, I just like it this way more, I just felt more safe. But yeah, as soon as you feel safe, I kind of fucked up there, but yeah. You kind of do your damage. I tended to not go for the presence of mind on this one because your and the odds of you being able to get both presence of minds off is very low. And also, if you don't get both of them off, then the cooldown's not going to start. So technically, you could use Palm Arcane Blast on one of them and then cancel Aura Presence of Mind, so you can start the cooldown straight away for your next burn. But honestly, it's a lot of effort that I'm not going to do personally. But yeah, at this point, you're kind of just doing what you can with your mana. Throw in an Ice Nova right there, right before he leaves. And then yeah, nothing crazy. That's kind of P1. You know, you don't need to do anything right now. Just don't die. So you alter time, collect your souls, and then make sure you snap back before it's over. And just, yeah, collect souls. I have a little Evo timer here. So you'll see me Evo here at like 205. And you see how I have a soul here right next to my, like, I don't know, spirit, I guess. You can actually pick these up even though they're inside, and they'll still refresh your buff, especially if you stand near them. Like if you see here, I actually pick it up without going in. You see my duration refreshed? Little small tip. But yeah. So you start your phase. You want to start Radiant Sparking like 210-ish. It should be that as soon as you finish your Nether Tempest, you should be shimmering out. This is the optimal timing. Do the Barrage Touch. Get to 4 stacks, and then you want a Barrage, but make sure this Barrage is cleaving on the ads, yeah? You don't want to like not have this cleave. So sometimes that might mean AFKing for like 0.5 seconds. But yeah. Do your Barrage, do your Orb, and then you're just going to go into a Missile, Blast. Like normal, right? And then here, just kind of make sure you play well with your movement. So you saw me move there with my missiles, and now I'm using my palm, but I would be using my palm there anyway. I did missile there before my rune for movement. If I didn't need to, then I wouldn't, obviously. But yeah. Nothing crazy at this part. We're just doing our rotation. And then next is the knockback. You want to hold your shifting power here. Even if rune expires before the knockback ends, don't shifting power, because we want to wait till the knockback ends and then instantly shimmer shifting. Right? We need to animation cancel the knockback so we can get our shifting power off ASAP. And then do your mini touch, right? Once again, nothing crazy. This time we're not going to get any cleave with the barrage, so we're just going to go with the Arcane Blasts, right? Just doing the normal rotation. Try and snipe with Palm here because the Touch of the Magi ideally cleaves the ads here. So you see mine hit 4 ads. Didn't cleave all of them quite just because of our positioning, but yeah. Now, you do not rune here after your Touch of the Magi because we're going to be going down. So it's at this timing exactly, 305, that you need to start going down. The goal is we need to be downstairs before this infinite duress spawns. Because if this duress goes on you and you go down, you will blow up and wipe your raid. So we definitely don't want to go down too late, but not too early either. This is the optimal timing. You want to go down right before the duress comes out. Time it how you want, but this is what worked for me. When you're downstairs here, once again, nothing crazy. Just collect your souls, get 10. You might be thinking, oh, I can craft mana gem. You can here, but you don't need to. We'll craft it a bit later, so don't worry about that too much. I like to just spam explosions, maybe get a proc. And then I like to, evocate because your surge is in 5 seconds, and we're going to be surging pretty much off, like as soon as it starts. You'll know you timed it right because as soon as you come out on the last second of your buff, the boss will be breathing. That's the optimal timing. You're gonna Radiant Spark, another Tempest, Surge, Barrage, Touch. Some people I know stayed behind over here and then they like shimmered in with before their surge went off. That's fine as well. I just like to do it this way. Now we do the same thing as the first surge in this burn, right? Get to max stacks into a Barrage, Orb, and then Missile, Blast. Pretty standard. Presence of Mind's ready. You slam it. Now you can use this rune that's up right now. If you use this rune, you end up having to shifting power downstairs. And I don't like that. Whether you rune here or not is up to you, and it depends on how much damage is left. I've personally found that if your guild is killing this ad fast enough, you don't need to rune, because I feel like it's only worth to rune if you get like 2 GCDs off after the rune. You definitely don't want to rune before the knockback, right? And it's like, you see me land down, I get like not even 1 GCD, right? This is where you craft gem. The moment that knockback is done and the ad is dead, you craft gem, use your shimmer to get closer to the thing, because we need to go down. And yeah, now we're set with gems for the rest of the fight. Do the little stutter step thing, collect your souls again. Nothing crazy. Obviously, use some bit of logic. Try and collect the last soul. Sorry, fast forward the back zone. Try and collect the last soul where it's like near the middle because that's where you want to spawn. And try and find a soul that's closest to this one as well so you can pick it up to refresh at the very end, right? So you see me here waiting, pick up the last soul and come up. As soon as you're up here now, what you want to do is you want to Radiant Spark, Nether Tempest, Rune, and then you want to wait like half a second and then Barrage. Unfortunately, any fake Q, weak core, or anything like that will not work with this waiting. If you don't want to deal with this waiting, what you can do instead is to Rune, Radiant Spark, Nether Tempest. That works too. Alternatively, you can even like Radiant Spark, Rune, Nether Tempest, Barrage, Touch. The main thing is here, what we're doing is, the way I do it is Radiant Spark, Nether Tempest, Rune. I actually don't wait here, which is a mistake. But basically, the Rune buff does not get applied instantly. And you see me, I cast my Barrage technically before my Rune applied to my character in game because of spell queuing. And I actually don't end up getting the buff on my Barrage here. You can see it hit 5 targets. I'm trying to snipe it. Hit 5 targets for 150k, 170k. That's not, none of them crit, but I'm pretty sure the Rune was not active here. So that's why you would need to wait like a millisecond. Literally 0.1 seconds is enough. Little trial and error will work for you. But yeah. After that, you just do your 4 Arcane Blast to get to max charges so that we can Barrage again. And then Orb, Missile, nothing crazy, right? So you might think, okay, well, why are we runing here? Right? Usually you rune after the Touch of the Magi. Because I didn't rune before, I have it now, and that's why I was saying earlier, if you runed before the phase started, you have to Shifting Power, because you really want this rune. This rune of this Touch of the Magi is quite handy, because we're going to go down. This is the mage's job in this fight. We're going to pick up this bomb. The first bomb is nicer. If there's 2 mages, then unlucky if you're the second one, but if you're one of the 2 mages, or if you're only 1 mage, try and get the first bomb from your guild. And as soon as you're done, you pick up your bomb and you kind of leave. Get 1 stack, and then get into a nice spot where you can drop your bomb, get your second. I kind of picked a bad swirly here because you see where my soul spawned. So you might say, okay, well, this is an oh shit moment. So a few things about this one. The value of this downstairs phase is not that high because we're actually not going to get our haystack in our surge, for that long. It's only really going to work for the first few GCDs. So this haze buff is not that important. Secondly, these first bombs that we dropped in the phase, you actually don't need to collect these ones yet because they will disappear very, very soon. The reason is because the swirlies despawn after 3 minutes, and the ones at the start of the first intermission were dropped at around like 150-ish. So they're going to be despawning very soon, and you can be sure of that every single time. So you see me here, I pick up that soul, and then I just drop my bomb, and you'll see me just wait. And then yeah, because I know it's going to despawn, right? Unfortunately, as you can tell, I didn't get to pick up that many souls. So now I'm in a situation, right? 2 seconds to pick up this soul. I could shimmer here, which probably is a play. But also, I've had a really good P1, so I didn't want to take any risks to die. So I just said, screw this. I'm just going to go and play it safe. Yeah, even though I only have 5 stacks, it doesn't really matter. Just get in position here. You're going to want to pop a bunch of defenses at this moment. So what you do is, before the Dispel, make sure you have mirror images up. And you can even barrier as you gateway. And then as soon as you're done gating, you can do 1 GCD and then evocate. And then here, this is kind of like if you struggle with targeting, this will help you. You don't need to target anything. The game automatically retargets the boss for you. So just let go of your keyboard and it will work fine. You do your burst, right? Nothing crazy. Just do your rotation right. Barrage once again at the 4th stack. The very last one, right? You do an orb, missile, blast, blast. So right here, this timing is a little awkward because what happens is that these bombs will start spawning as your Touch of the Magi is like exploding, but you don't want to palm quite yet. So you see me here, instead what I do is, instead of moving with the group, I kind of veer off to the side. If the second bomb spawned on me here, it is completely fine. Nobody should complain about this one. So I opted to move a little off. And part of that was because I positioned a little off from my group, as you can tell over here. Let me see if I can make the quality better. I don't think I can, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm a little ahead of my group, and that's on purpose, Because if the first bomb spawns on them, I don't need to move much. Like I can stay in my rune. And if this first bomb spawns on me, then they can move less as well, which is great for them. If it spawns on me, it sucks because I'll have to move more, but that's a 1 in 20 chance. But yeah, with where I'm standing, you see, it spawns on them. I can stay in my rune, maybe move a little touch. I can utilize my max DPS, and then as soon as the second bomb spawns, and I know it's not on me, Rune of Power will cast and shimmer in, and then you finish off your surge, right? Just doing your rotation. You're gonna have to shifting power here, and just be aware because when you're shifting power right here, there's a chance that you get a swirly on you. We actually had that happen this pull, so you see me shimmer out. It's completely fine. You're going to regenerate most of the shimmer back. You can just do the Nether Tempest Barrage touch while you're moving back to position, which is what you see me do here. I'll rewind it a sec. So shifting power, swirly spawns on me, instant shimmer, no hesitation. Radiant Spark, Nether Tempest, and I start moving, Barrage touch as I'm moving, and then all is good. Didn't lose any DPS. And you see me here, I'm not in the line, right? But I don't need to be yet. I have 5 seconds, so be smart, you know? Use your mobility how you need to. Finish off with Palm, do my rune. Just doing the rotation, right? There's nothing insane going on. This is a very normal pull. Like, I got rank 1 on this pull, but it was because of really lucky RNG in P1. I didn't like play insane or anything at all. I actually played super conservative this pull because I had such a crazy rank 1, right, pull. I was like, okay, I got such good P1 that I'm gonna chill. Anyway, this bomb spawns. So these next bombs will be ours, right? So there's 2 approaches to this. You definitely want something like, so you want to mirror image before the explosion just to mitigate a bit of damage, and you want a mage barrier before these bombs drop on you. And so now we have 2 big defenses. We have block and G-invis. We're gonna have to use both in a very small window of time. You can either G-invis the pickup here and then block in the swirly to mitigate damage, or what I prefer is to block in the swirly and then pick a mirror image later. So a smart person will say, well, why would you want to mirror? Why would you want to block now and G-invis later when you're going to be taking more damage when you have the bomb, I think. But also it's just more damage taken later in the face. The reason is because your raid is still likely recovering from the knockback, and it's going to be easier for them to catch up with the healing if you're not getting owned. And then once everyone is caught up, it's going to be easier to heal you with G-invis. On this pull, you see like I did end up G-invising because I saw my raid was super healthy. But my initial plan was to actually block this instead. I rewinded just a bit. We had a really good like cooldown setup going into this pull. I think we changed something, but usually here we're like sweating our balls off. So yeah, like I said, I decided to G-invis here instead of blocking. But I recommend you block here. I do recommend you block. And then you're gonna G-invis later. You're gonna G-invis at around like 6:33 or 6:34. So around now you want G-invis. I didn't have it, so I just sit here. I was healthy, so I didn't choose to block, but I could have. I kind of trolled my raid a little bit, unfortunately. There was a swirly that spawned that they were not going to make. They were either going to make or they weren't. And if they weren't going to make, I surely could make it down. And I just wanted to make sure that I could go down early. Nothing could go wrong. In hindsight, this was probably a wrong call by me. I think it was a bit of panic and like, you know, playing safe, played too safe. Yeah, so I went down, they decided to go to a different hole. Thankfully, nobody stepped in mine. But yeah. Unfortunately, because I went down, this happens. So we go down, you know. I have the bomb on me, and I can collect my souls, and I can collect things, but I wanted to drop a really nice bomb. Once again, like I said, play ethical, play safe. If you're all alive on this point of the fight, you will kill the boss. As long as no disaster happens, this boss is dead. That's why, play safe here. Don't go crazy collecting souls and dropping a really shitty bomb. You see, like, I barely collect any. And what you want to do ideally here is save your invisibility button, your real invis, not your greater invis, because it gives you a big movement speed buff, right? So this is definitely the one where we want to get as many as we can. Here I collect as many as I can and I shimmer in last second. Unfortunately, because I was a second faster than the rest of my guild, because I went in faster, I got this black hole, which sucks. Because you'll see what happens. The best way to handle this mechanic though, if you don't, and I suggest you tell this to your guild if you can, is you should have the raid in the middle of the room, and then whoever gets the black hole goes slightly left, and then that way everybody can be on the edge of the black hole, so that when the black hole like hits, they can just move one step to the left or one step to the right and maximize their damage, right? That's what I do. Unfortunately, you know, you just send your burst. Oh, I should mention, you want to save your lust and pot for this. Your lust and pot will be up beforehand. Do not cast them. You want them for this. this burn specifically, because this is where you're gonna get your ideally 10 stacks, but also on the previous burn you don't really have stacks for the majority of your damage, so it's better to have it for this burn here. And that's why you see me save it, and it's very standard save it. If you do get this hole like I did, you can alter time. I'll opt to go for the barrage. Unfortunately, the ad got destroyed, so when I orbed, I only got 2 charges instead of 4. So, unfortunate, I'm losing a lot of damage here. As soon as the black hole is done, I alter back. But yeah. After your rune is done, right? After you touch the Magi is done, sorry, you'd rune again and you just nuke the boss. We killed this boss insanely quickly because we had really good damage. Usually this boss dies in like 15 seconds later than what we killed him at. So yeah. It's a pretty basic fight for like mage gameplay. With our rotation, there's nothing insane. You just really need to understand your timings of going down and where to position and like your defensive usage. Defensive usage is very important. I hope this guide helped. If there's any questions for Sarkareth specific, feel free to ask in my Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord, I really recommend it because I'm quite active there. I answer as many questions as I can, or other smart people can as well. But that's it for Sarkareth. I hope you've enjoyed this and it's helped out. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.